Live from the 215. This is Wrestle Cave Podcast, big episode 50. I'm here with my tag team partner, the 30 Case. What's going on? This is High Society. I am Ace Porter. What's good, bro?
Number 50, brother.
Yeah, man.
Number 50. So, you guys can follow us on Facebook, Wrestle Cave Podcast, on Twitter, Wrestle_Cave, on the YouTube, Wrestle Cave, on what else? Instagram, Wrestle Cave. You know, everywhere.
Everything.
You can get your ass whooped in 2K by our man Ace over here.
Yes.
I hear you've been putting the
I am
work
the reigning, defending, undisputed.
He was up.
WC.
He said he's up.
MOC.
Up late
champion
last night, whooping some ass in 2K.
Yeah, shout out to J Ace, man. Shout out to J Mac. You know what I mean? We put on some 5-star matches, some classics. You know, so y'all can check that out.
If you want to get this work, come see
man.
Ace.
Yeah, come see me, man.
If you want to win, you can play me because I suck.
It's becoming an epidemic. You know, everybody's saying, "Listen, I see you in 2020. I see you next year," because everybody decided they like gonna get PS4s. Yeah, right? They're getting PlayStation 4s and shit now. So
they're all getting ready.
Yeah.
And so then awesome. You want to drop a promo challenge in the Markout Club or in Wrestle Cave. You know, join in.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll be dropping mine soon. Don't worry. You got anything you want to add before we get into it?
You know, I'm bodying motherfuckers in promos. we can get it. Let's get to it. Like, I mean, let's go.
So we'll kick it off with something we started last week, the wrestling story of the week. What did you think of the one last week?
It was dope. Please,
it was a good start. All right, so I tweeted this video out to this match that I'm going to talk about. This is one of the original screw jobs in the WWF. I don't know if a lot of people know about this. I'm sure a lot of people do, because it's one of a lot of people's beloved wrestlers. So this involves Wendy Richter taking on the Spider, who turned out to be the Fabulous Moolah.
Oh, okay.
So I got this courtesy of YouTube, obviously watching it. The New York Post wrote about it. So I called this the Spider Screw Job.
Uh-huh.
So back in, this is in 1985. So Wendy Richter was in contract talks with WWF, supposedly. And we all know that's not the easiest thing to do in the wrestling world, correct? Contract talks.
Mm-hmm.
So in November of 1985, Wendy was set to defend her WWF Ladies Championship against a masked opponent who was called the Spider. So when she came to the ring, it was clearly Fabulous Moolah wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. Clearly. Mm-hmm. The fans knew it. Wendy knew it. As soon as Wendy... and Moolah and Wendy were longtime rivals, so this kind of pissed off Wendy when she saw it come out. Mm-hmm. So Wendy in the crowd realized right away, to the point where the crowd was chanting Moolah the whole match, like at Moolah. And Wendy was even like pointing at her and yelling at her when the match began because she knew it was Moolah. But anyway, they wrestled. Wendy tries to take her mask off a few times during the match. It wasn't successful. So throughout the match, there's some rough spots. At one point, Wendy was trying to do like a head scissors takedown, but it didn't work out. So they kind of were like, there's something off about the whole match because they've been rivals. They've had matches before. I've seen a few of their matches. Mm-hmm. There's just something off about it. So eventually, Moolah would roll Wendy up into a small package, which she clearly kicked out at about 1.5. The ref counted 1, 2, 3.
Oh shit!
So everyone, including Wendy, was really confused about what happened here. So much so that Wendy actually attacked Moolah. Moolah's not even really selling any of the moves. Like, she's kind of doing it, but then, like, after every time Wendy would turn around, she would come out and, like, raise her hand. At this point, her mask was off and everything. So she even did a move to her and went for a pin, but the ref had already moved on. And then Howard Finkel came in the ring and finally let everybody know the new ladies championship was the Fabulous Spider, he said. The Fabulous Moolah. Wendy never spoke to Moolah again and never wrestled for WWF again. So this is kind of like the original screw job. But in the end, Wendy would be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2010.
What you think, like, transpired from that?
So I went and dug a little deeper, and even after this, Wendy was claiming that she was signed by WWE for 5 years. She was at a 5-year contract. Vince was claiming that she wasn't, and Vince was claiming she walked out. So it was kind of like a mess afterwards of he said, she said. So there's a lot going into it, but apparently that was her last match. She never signed a contract. She was in talks, but she just left, never wrestled there again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy when you hear like certain stories like hitting well, I don't say hidden, but you know you got to do certain research to hear certain background things, which is I think people don't understand that wrestling. Um, on one end is great on the screen, but on the other end it's like backstage shit is like always like the better stories, like you know what I mean, the shit that's going on around the times that these classic matches or these matches actually happen. So
and I had heard a little bit about it before, but I was like, let me let me watch it, sit down. So for anyone who wants to watch it, I tweeted it out on our Twitter, so you can check it out. The whole match on there and the aftermath of it.
No, that's fine.
It was really interesting. Though.
It is. Check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Casey.
Again, that was our wrestling story of the week, which you can find every week here on the Wrestle Cave podcast. I'll be dropping some stories of the road, some funny ones, some like that. Speaking of stories, have you watched any of it, Dark Side of the Ring? I know I brought it up last week.
I'm gonna check some out today, bro.
I
gotta.
You have to, because this week's was about the Von Erich family, who if you don't know about that. The tragedy,
sad story.
And it follows Kevin Von Erich, who's the only remaining brother left of 5. I believe he lost 5 brothers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He claims at one point I was a brother, and now I'm not even that. He was like, at one point I had 5 brothers, and now I'm not even a brother.
Yeah, that shit, that's wild.
So if you don't know that story, it's really, really good. But it was good to see, because it follows Kevin now. And it seems like he's in a really good place. Like he found a good place in life, and his 2 sons are wrestling now, and they have a family. So look, it ends up being a nice story for him after all the tragedy that he's gone through. But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. The Bruiser Brody one was really good as well. They've had the Montreal Screwjob. They did a really good job with that. I know I talked about Cornette made another appearance on this one. And then they also did Macho Man Elizabeth. So I'm telling you, if you are a fan of wrestling and you like the backstage stuff, my girl's been hooked on it. Like she wants more.
Yeah, so, I'm gonna click the link. My aunt Ben sent me the link. Shout out to my aunt. I just gotta find time and.
Well, I believe the one is on their YouTube. I think the Bruiser Brody one might be on their YouTube, so you can watch that for free.
Yeah.
You want to get into another new segment, the tweet sheet?
Yeah, please do. I wanted to address this also.
So I'll do that one last, the one that we want to elaborate on a little bit more. But the tweet sheet is basically another thing we're going to try. The dirt sheets, everybody's coming out. I'm going to hold people accountable. I'm going to go to their Twitter. I'm going to let you know what they're saying.
Yeah.
All right? I'm going to start off with a little fun one here. So Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt have been going back and forth. So Bray Wyatt originally tweeted this. A couple years ago, Randy Orton did some pretty bad stuff to me. He destroyed my temple, uncrowned me as the champion of the world, caused my brother to abandon me, and betrayed my trust. Worst of all, he didn't say he was sorry. But I forgive you, Randy Bobanders. So Randy responded with something I thought was hilarious. He said, you had WWE spend $2 million on photo projected bugs. What do you expect me to do? Trailer Park Boys, Bo effing Bandy, over and out. Hashtag House of Horrors. He said, you made them spend $2 million on projecting bugs.
And they did that shit.
He did that shit. But it gets better. Rusev chimes in at both of them, says, come on, guys. Goldberg is back. To which Randy replied, there goes another $2 million.
Randy's a savage.
I thought that was hilarious.
Randy's savage, dog.
Something a little bit more serious here. Raj Giri, owner of WrestleInc.com. I believe it is Raj_Geary3000 on Twitter. He talks about the recent ratings. He says SmackDown dropped below 2 million viewers for the first time ever for a first run on a non-holiday episodes. They had 1.83 million viewers. Numbers down 25% from the same time last year. Even the show on the election night did better. WWE needs to change.
I asked a question in the group that did like fucking 70 comments and shit. I was highly surprised at how many people chimed in on this particular subject. I didn't even see your comment on it. That's how it was like so.
So what did you say? Tell them what you said.
Basically, I asked because it's rumor has it that Vince McMahon is kind of blaming Kofi, Seth, and Becky for, you know, the lack of ratings. And my thing was, you know, asking, you know, our people, the cavers, you know, is he tripping for thinking that it's their fault, or, you know, is he right? And everybody basically were saying that, you know, it's not their fault, you know, because of the product being so inconsistent. You it's like kind of like putting a Band-Aid over like a very, very bad cut, you know, and putting the titles on the fan favorites is like the Band-Aid, but it's still not going to aid that bad cut that's been going on, that's been existing there for months and months and years at this point. And then it also shows you how Vince is, I guess, taking AEW a little bit more serious because he's trying to keep, you know, certain talent and want to lock down certain things, and just to keep them from AEW instead of necessarily trying to solve the problem. I don't know, maybe they are, but you know, I just think that when you have a Goldberg coming back up, and you know, it's rumors that he's supposed to take the belt off of Kofi just to, you know, fight at Saudi Taker. What are your thoughts on that particular, you know, rumor?
Which rumor?
That Goldberg would take the title off of Kofi and go to Saudi to face Taker.
So the source that released that is not very credible at all. So
Good.
I don't really trust that. I think, to be honest with you, it's a one and done thing because you know how much money he's going to get paid to do that Saudi match.
Yeah.
I think it's a one and done. He couldn't refuse that kind of money. I'll get in there and do a match. Vince would be stupid to do that.
I hope, you know what scares me?
Because then SmackDown's going to be Raw.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it's going to be. Because he's going to move Brock over there. If you have Goldberg as that champion, it's just going to be Roman's there. It's going to become Raw was. And it's going to be stale. It's going to be dry. No one's going to like it.
Yeah.
You want to know why there's no stars? Because you keep bringing back these old guys.
Exactly. And you know what scares me is the way that they did KO, how he jobbed out the Goldberg before. And, you know, if he does that, I think, you know, a lot of people are going to, you know, tune off the product even more.
Well, the other thing was Raw was down like 30% from last year, too. That's pretty. They're getting like close to being below. I think they were almost below.
It was no playoffs on Monday, was it?
I think there was. I know that.
I mean, I'm sure
Sixers
that plays a part. I don't know how serious that plays, but I'm sure it plays a part in the ratings.
Whether it does or doesn't, if your product is must see, people are going to watch it regardless of what else is on.
Yeah.
It's not must see right now. That's why we're not really talking about it, because it's not must talk about.
Yeah, it's not.
The biggest thing from the show was they announced. They didn't wrestle for anything. They announced who Money in the Bank winners were. And we'll get into that later about that whole shit. But my answer to your question was, I said the real reason is the creative sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no competition anymore. If you look at what we're going to talk about later, the Money in the Bank, like the people, they announced them. Why not have these guys wrestle? And even the people they announced aren't really worthy of being in the match. Ricochet, an example. Ricochet's very good, yes. But last week, Robert Roode beat him. And he's just announced in this match, and Robert Roode's not on TV. So a guy who wins, you're just going to take him off TV. No momentum build for him. But the guy who lost gets to be in the Money in the Bank match. What?
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's what I'm talking about. The creative is, it sucks. And it's like, as a fan, that doesn't interest me. If a guy wins, he should be in that match, not the guy he beat.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to why they're doing this stuff. And that's why when they say wins and losses don't matter, maybe to them it doesn't, but to the people watching it does.
Yeah. Well,
you know, that's the people watching it does.
That killed the business, low key. You know, one of the things that killed the business, they made that a thing. Oh, you know, it doesn't matter. But that'd make or break a star. That's why back in the day, the locker room was the way it was because the spots was there and people wanted those spots. So it just, you know, it was important. It was important when The Rock won. It was important when Austin won. It was important when Triple H won. It was important when Taker won. So it's like nowadays, I think that's the issue. And that helped propel stars and make them larger than life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you didn't seek out the flaws in superstars also. Like, to take a Leo away from a Bobby fucking Lashley, that's like suicide. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Leo Rush, our last and final entry from the tweet sheet. I think we got to do a little backstory on this one first. So Leo's had a lot of rumors about him swirling around that Finn came up to him and gave him some advice, and he blew off Finn, how his wife has been around, and people have been getting mad at that, how he won't carry bags for people, he won't carry water, he won't do this, he won't do that. So Leo, April 30th, got a little pissed off at this. On his Twitter, he said, if you want the truth, why not just ask? So he's gotten some positive feedback from some wrestlers. Anthony Henry, Wrestle Circus, and Joey Janela, among others, have reached out and supported Rush over Twitter. So here's some fan questions that were asked on Twitter to Lio Rush. Did WWE send you home? Lio Rush responds, we aren't sent home like naughty kids. This is a business and my job. We aren't all used every week, and storylines don't last forever. But we still have to show up to work and take care of business. Thoughts on that one?
Good answer.
It's the truth. I mean, just because you're not on TV doesn't mean you don't have to be there.
Absolutely.
And they're not going to send you home, but they're going to do everything that they can. You listen to Luke Harper and Dash Wilder want to leave, they're adding months onto their contract. So they're not going to let Lio Rush go home. They're going to make him miserable.
And I don't understand why. You got someone that can talk. You got somebody that can work. He actually, And the reason I know that Matt's wife chimed in and said, some disrespectful things. And I heard that one of the reasons why he wants a double and what they're trying to give him is because he's struggling to support his bills and support the on the road life. Mm-hmm. And to some people or a lot of people, $300,000 is a lot of money a year.
He's probably not even making that right now.
Exactly.
He came in at NXT, and then went to 205 Live, and now he's a manager and wrestles every now and then. So in their eyes, why would I pay this guy? In their eyes, I've seen him wrestle before he was in WWE at a Ring of Honor New Japan show. I've seen this guy. And he was 20 years old at that time, maybe even younger. This guy's good. I just think it's on both sides, his side and the other side. I see both sides because you have people like Mark Henry chiming in, who is a man of color, saying it's not about race, and even Leo himself saying it's not about race, and people are trying to make it about race. I don't think it really is about that.
It's about ego, man.
It's absolutely about ego. Wrestling isn't. Mark pretty much said that himself. I mean, you come in. This is what you're expected to do, no matter who you are. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, in today's world, and how much has gone on in the recent world, I totally understand where Leo was coming from.
Yeah.
I mean, people will cheer you on in the ring, and then right behind your back see you in public and trash you to your face. That's the world we live in. So from his point of view, I totally understand why he's speaking up. I get it. The next question that someone asked him on Twitter was, is there backstage heat? Are you leaving WWE? He said, heat is such a subjective term. Do I stand up for myself when life challenges me? Yes. Do I have opinions and not just blindly follow? Yes. Am I best friends with every single superstar? No. But do I work hard? Am I professional and respectful? Am I driven? Sorry, he goes on. Am I driven to perform to the best of my ability to entertain the WWE universe? Have no bad blood with any other superstars, great working relationships with writers and producers, and respect and listen to all higher-ups? Absolutely. I mean...
how can you do that if you don't do, simple locker room etiquette? You know what I mean?
That's the thing. That's the thing. You can't say that if you're not doing what other guys who are... I've heard Heavy Machinery, Al-Shabai, all those guys, Ricochet, are doing these things.
Yeah.
So, at the same time, yes and no on that one,
Do you think he's trying to get fired at this point, or trying to find a way out because he's not really with the position? He doesn't like his position in the company, financially wise, and I'm sure, just in general, if he has an ego, then he would want to be on the show. He would want to showcase his talent and his ability. And he hasn't really been able to show that than his matches, a couple small matches with fans.
So to your point there about trying to get fired. So I'm going to read one more tweet, and then I'll read a couple things from. He did a interview with Fightful, which usually, we know from reaching out to people, you usually need to go through the federation or whoever you're under to get interviews. So I know a lot of superstars have to go through that to get an interview. So I'm wondering if he did that on his own, and maybe to do that, to get fired or get them mad even more. I don't know. But it's interesting. I'll read some stuff from that. But the one more question from Twitter. Are you out of the locker room because of your relationship with your wife or some other petty bullshit? He says, I'm not out of the locker room. More dirt sheet assumptions. Many spouses and family members come to shows and are welcome backstage. Our performance schedules are not just Raw. We have 3 live shows, travel days, and pay-per-views. My wife came to share my first WrestleMania moment with me, as did many family members of the roster. That the little time that a professional wrestler can spend with their family is rare and precious. I conduct myself professionally and respectfully, and so does my wife. Thoughts on that one?
You're a family man, so I don't disagree with him here. I mean, like you said, I see both sides. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you know, you still work for this company. You still have obligations. I guess they want you to do certain things. It's 2 performances. It's a performance in the ring and it's a performance in the backstage. And unless he can play ball and you know, do what is expected of him. You know what I mean? He's not gonna be where we know he could be. But at the same time, you can do all those things and still not end up in that spot. That's just the way it is in WWE. So, to me, if he's unhappy, I feel like he needs to do what he needs to do. I mean, it's always good. That's why I said the Pac shit was just as important as the Jericho shit. To literally go and sit out your contract and do what you have to do and you know, and take time off and, you know, enjoy your family. And then once that contract is up, go do exactly what you want to do.
Pretty much.
Just do it. Just do what you want to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your contract can't be that crazy. I don't think they look at you in that light like that. And if you're becoming a problem and an issue, then they'll fuck around and just sit you down. You know what I mean? Eventually. So just keep that same energy, you know? I feel like he's very talented, and I feel like he'll be successful outside of WWE. He has the gift of the gab, and he can go in the ring. So I feel like he's actually settling just being in WWE and doing what he's doing and being a manager. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he did speak to, I think it was Fightful, probably Sean Ross Sapp, I think. I won't read everything because there's a lot here, but I'll just give you the highlights. So he basically said him and Finn are cool. His wife's never been an issue. He claims there's someone for Ring of Honor that works there now that hasn't liked him since Ring of Honor. So they're the ones like leaking all this false information about him. He just basically said at a certain point he has to defend himself. He said he's actually surprised more people aren't speaking up about the bullshit that takes place backstage. He said he has no
because people are actually scared about their job. People actually are on retirement mode. You know what I mean? And that's where they want to be, and they want to secure a job at the end of the day. I don't think Leo is one of those people. I think he's bringing that Shawn Michaels energy, that ego back to the game. I feel like it needs it. I feel like it's been sad, without it. So
he says his issues never been with Lashley. His issues like that he's never been on any like meet and greets or anything with Lashley, and he's not getting any T-shirt money from like his catchphrase that's on their T-shirt, the Almighty thing.
Wow.
And then
they playing foul like that.
Yeah, and then like the last thing he says is walking around broke in the biggest sports entertainment industry that there is while having two kids and a wife to support. So that's,
oh man, you can't say certain shit like that. You know what I mean? Even though if it's the truth, like they don't like shit like that. That's a big ass no. Especially like the Twitter. And then I hear that they want all your passwords and shit also. You know, you can't just, they want to have complete control to like all your social medias also. I don't know how true that is. He might be in trouble over that shit too, because if they had his password, I'm sure they wouldn't allow him to say the shit that he's saying, you know what I mean, on the Twitter.
For real. So, yeah,
it's crazy. You hear a lot of different things. We just report and we just have opinions on it. We don't know what is going on back there. We're just giving you our point of view.
And that is the whole point of the tweet sheet. Yeah. I want to give you it right from the source, so that way you can't call me a liar. Yeah. So that has been the first rendition of the tweet sheet.
Oh, but
I hope y'all liked it.
How do you feel about a woman calling him a bitch, calling him out his name? I didn't really like that.
Rebby?
Yeah,
Rebby talks a lot of shit, man. I don't put stock in a lot of what she says. So.
Yeah. I just found that a little, like, I've seen certain shit she said. I just found that a little crazy that this woman, this wife, I guess she's in her 30s or whatever, want to call out a young man and call him out his name and say he's trash and always been trash, and I just don't understand.
Which is so false.
It's so false, and I just don't understand how we get to the. How does that transpire and get to the point of calling a man out of his name like that? You know what I mean? So it's just a little wild. It's a little crazy.
Yeah. I wanted to, so before we get into the rest, we're going to talk about the Crockett Cup and who won that. We're going to talk about Impact Wrestling Rebellion and who won that. But I wanted to talk about something I listened to. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, and sometimes I listen to Conan and Disco Inferno bicker back and forth. And for the first time ever listening, I agreed with something that Disco Inferno said. So they had Joey Janela on. They were talking about AEW, and of course Disco and Conan had to chime in about it. And basically what they were talking about was like how AEW is going to make WWE push their product better.
Yep.
And that's what Conan was saying.
Yep.
I have to agree with Disco, who said, why would you think that now they're going to make it better when for the last 20 years their product has been terrible? He even said, like, and Conan did give a good point, like when WCW was around, they did take some stuff from WCW and some stuff from ECW, but in this type of world, if they take stuff from AEW, people are just going to see it as such copycat bullshit. They see through stuff like that now. So they just have to make their product better, but instead they're more focused on the money they're making.
Yeah,
as long as they're making money, I don't think Vince cares about that shit. Like, to be honest with you, because he hasn't changed it yet, and they're at their not all-time low, but the lowest it's been in a long time. So I kind of agree, for the first time ever, agree with Disco Inferno that I don't believe AEW is going to make WWE step up their bullshit. I think AEW is just should worry about themselves and not worrying about WWE because they have such a fan base already that doesn't matter.
I don't think they're really worried about them. I feel like you have Triple H, some of the shit that he was saying that, I didn't watch the Hall of Fame ever since that year where they dragged it out with Kurt Angle. I can't do it.
You mean with it wasn't even Kurt Angle, it was Hillbilly Jim talk for a goddamn hour.
Yeah. Whatever one that was on the one that they honored.
That was terrible, man. He wasn't nothing against him, but like
he shouldn't have that much time.
Dude, you didn't even hold the championship, pretty sure, in WWE. Like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, it should be like
you don't deserve it.
Like Bubba said on Busted Open, you should
like a structure to it. You get 10 minutes, 20, and build up like that, and then like the main event guy gets the hour if he wants.
It was fucking Austin, Jericho. We don't give a fuck. We talk all night, but
exactly.
but
talk till tomorrow.
Yeah, so Triple H was throwing shots at AEW, like, so it's like Triple H put them. I'm not gonna say he puts them. They throw shots, you know what I'm saying? And Cody responded in that video, and when he was going at his brother about basically, going at the Attitude Era, et cetera, et cetera. Made a lot of sense. I feel like Vince is already doing shit differently. Just to put the belt on Kofi at this point right here, right now, just says it alone, and put 2 belts on Becky was just overkill. And then the Seth shit also. He's showing signs that he cares, even the locking the contracts up, even keeping people away.
What's really going to be telling to see if he's changed? The Bray Wyatt storyline is going to be the telling thing for me.
And he's still sticking with his guns.
That's what I'm saying. If he sticks this out and it's actually good, that's the thing. If it's a little bit of this and he goes back to Bray Wyatt,
well, I hope
whatever.
I hope he can read analytics, because on YouTube it clearly states that what he's doing is working, because all his Bray shit is like the top rating. Like,
because
shit on the
it's
network.
It's not like just what's going on is what you're supposed to be looking at. You're supposed to, like, that's why people like it, because you're thinking about it, like the burning picture with the Abigail in the window. You're thinking, like, is that from Randy Orton, like when he burned the house down?
Yeah.
And then he's talking about how he's a bad guy. Like, all this stuff is like, you're thinking about, what does it mean? It's not just, oh, Bray's just talking, like he used to be just talking. You know what I mean? There's actually,
it's like cryptic.
Exactly. It actually means something, and we're gonna find out. So, like, I really hope they see this thing through.
And he looks great on top of it.
Oh my God, he looks awesome.
Yeah. I remember having this conversation with Robbie, and he was just saying, Bray's done, and I agree with him. But, I was like, if he goes somewhere else, all he has to do is like revise his character or just change his name, because there's so many different times like Scott Hall went to WCW. He just changed his name. He was essentially the same character doing the same shit. But I always felt like Bray could come up with another, if he came up with a character that dope, why couldn't you come up with like another one? So I'm definitely invested in seeing where this particular thing goes. I wonder if he'll do that until SummerSlam. I'm curious to see. And is he going to wrestle in that attire also? I'm also curious about that also.
Yeah, like what is he going to wear to the ring?
Probably that and the gloves.
The gloves? I hope he wears the gloves. He should wear the gloves. The gloves are a big part of it.
Yeah. Sure. And the old Bray peeks out sometimes also.
Yeah, I do like when he's... Because even at the end of the last one, you saw the way he was like, all you have to do. And then he got like real creepy and he was like, let me in. And I'm like... So he's getting a little creepier, which I really like. So... Yeah. I'm interested to see where they take this. You know what the sad part is? I watched 3 hours of Monday Night Raw just to watch that because nothing else caught my attention really.
Yeah, I couldn't do it this week.
So I don't really want to talk about it too much. You want to just talk about it now? Who's in the Money in the Bank? Because that's basically the biggest stuff we got from Monday and Tuesday. Was,
and Kushida, and Kushida debut.
Kushida taking on Cassius Ohno.
I don't understand that.
What?
I understand that they want Cassius. Well, we'll get to that. You wanted to talk about money.
I totally understand. That's his gimmick. He's taking on all the shiny new toys. I totally understand that.
I just feel like Kushida. He's like one of the best juniors in the world. I think he should have just debuted with a junior so we could have seen a little bit more. But if you put him against big ass, oh no, you might as well not even. Like they made it a thing to say he's one of the greatest juniors in the world. So my thing is like, but he just fought big ass. He's not a junior anymore.
But I like it because then that puts if he's just taking on juniors, that kind of gets looked at as a 205
for sure.
guy.
So I'm happy. I'm happy in that sense.
Yeah, but
if they reverse it, I'm gonna be pissed.
Well, here's why it's good. Cassius Ohno's established there as a veteran. He's taken on pretty much everybody there. He's gone to NXT UK, taken on guys. He's been pretty good. Exactly. He's the gatekeeper there. Yeah. He's what Tyler Breeze was for the longest time there. And that's fine. That's what he's I don't think Cassius Ohno is going to go up to the main roster. I think this is going to be his job.
I just got scared when he looked like he broke his fucking nose. You know what I'm saying? So other than that,
I liked it because that's been his gimmick with Riddle and with Dream. Like he's always been taking on the hot new thing. And he even said, he's like, I want to take on your shiny new toy again. So I feel like you're going to see him keep doing this. And I'm okay with it because he plays that role good. Yeah. You know what I mean? When he talks and he backs it up and he can wrestle with anybody. Big guy, small guy, fast guy, like anybody. Yeah. Both of them, Kushida and Cassius. So I think it's good because it's a solid guy. They might have worked together in the past.
Where do you see Kushida going?
If anywhere, it's probably SmackDown.
What do you see him being able to accomplish? I know it's early, but
it's early. I think he'll have a good run in NXT. It's tough because you know how quickly the NXT landscape changes. Like Undisputed Era and Dream could all be gone, and a whole new crop could be in there tomorrow.
Well, yeah, they got a lot of
you know what I mean. So like 6 months from now, it could be totally different because War Raiders are on the way out. So he could be facing ACH, guys like that. Who else did they just bring in? Trevor Lee, Shane Strickland. Like, they do have guys that he's going to match up with very well in the ring. Yeah, like, this next crop, because they finally announced... Well, they finally announced Strickland, and they announced Trevor Lee's been wrestling with them.
They still got Punishment, too.
They got Punishment, but I'm talking about that guys that you're talking about in his weight class. He's going to have a lot of good, freaking phenomenal matches with those guys, especially Swerve. Yeah. I mean... It's going to be interesting to see, because I know they have a lot of guys they've been talking about bringing in. But just those three guys alone, Trevor Lee, ACH, and Strickland, and Kushida, that's going to be their crop of guys once these guys leave in 6 months or so, Right. So I think the future's bright. I just think I can't say what the future is because I don't think for Kushida he's going to be able to face too many of these guys that are here now, because I think if WWE wants to make a change, they're going to have to bring up guys like the Undisputed Era and the Dream,
right,
and get rid of some of these old guys. Stop bringing them in, because then it opens up spots for these guys.
Well,
but again, I'm scared because I don't want them to go up at the same time.
Right. So look, Money in the Bank. We got Ricochet, Andrade, Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor, Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, Ali, and Randy Orton.
Randall.
Randall.
And they were all announced. There was no matches, no qualifiers. We have a month in between pay-per-views, but we can't qualify anybody. All you have to do is 1 or 2 qualifiers a week to keep people interested. But no, let's kick it off with a 2-on-2 tag team match. You know what I mean? That should be saved for the last week, like before Money in the Bank. Like that's what they used to do, and that's part of the reason why the ratings are dropping is because if Money in the Bank's coming up, what am I watching a 3-hour show for if none of these matches matter to Money in the Bank? What are you building to?
Yeah, nothing.
What match on that show built like Miz and Shane? Cool. They're not even on the same brand. We've been seeing this. Like it didn't really. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating because even you like the Seth and AJ thing didn't get me too pumped up for that either.
They need to. I hope they tap into the history that those two have.
I hope they do too, but they probably won't. The only good thing they did to build the Money in the Bank was Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch, in my opinion. I thought that segment was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because it showed a little fire in Lacey, and she's not going to back down from Becky. So the lady and the man, I'm interested in that.
How do you feel about? Do you think Becky's better at chasing or actually holding the belt?
She talks a good game. She's not like I know people love Becky. She's not the best in-ring worker, man. She's not. She's good, but of the 4 horsemen, she's the worst of the 4 horsemen in the ring. Not to say she's bad. Not to say she's bad at all. But you watch her in these one-on-one matchups, and it's nothing crazy. I mean, you see Charlotte and Becky tear the house down last week. You know what I mean? Her and Becky had a good match this week. I like what I'm seeing out of what's her name? Bailey on a weekly basis. She's got more fire to her. But to answer your question, I know I got off a little bit there. I think she is better at the chase. She's doing well at holding her own, but how long is she going to hold these titles? Is she going to drop both of them right away? Is she going to drop one? Is she going to keep both? I don't see her beating both of these women in the same night.
I still feel like the 2-belt thing was unnecessary. And that shit is just wild. And I feel like that, like you said, you know, well, then again, she might. I don't know.
You want a prediction? She beats both of them, and the winner of the Money in the Bank cashes in after the second match.
Yeah. You know, there you have it.
She still looks strong. She beat 2 really strong opponents, but at the end of the day...
Who do you... Okay, so let's get into that.
All right, you want me to announce? So the women's Money in the Bank...
Well, hold on. Who do you have winning the men's?
The men's?
Yeah.
Okay, so if they really want to keep to this thing where Vince wants to build new stars and everything like that, Ali or Ricochet?
Really?
Ali, Ricochet, or Andrade are the 3 you need to give that to.
I'm going to say Drew probably got this in the bag.
Him too.
Yeah.
Those would be the 4 because Finn has the IC title. He don't need it. Randy definitely don't need it. Baron had it. Did nothing with it. Braun had it, did nothing with it. So you need someone new.
I think Ricochet and
that's
Ali
why I
props.
picked those 4.
I think they're props. They're just in there to do some flashy shit. Call it a day.
Absolutely.
The character, for the character and the type of person that you need to do it, it would have to be between Andrade and Drew.
I was just gonna say the 2 that would benefit the most would be Andrade and Drew. Those heels,
definitely Andrade, because Drew, I think Drew has done enough to where he doesn't necessarily need it. It's not right. If he doesn't get it by like SummerSlam, then maybe it'd be a little drawn out. It'd be a little bit too late. But I think right now he's still good right now because he's still. I don't know how, but he's
still menacing enough and still fresh enough off.
Well,
he's still fresh enough off of destroying the Shield, quote unquote.
He keeps busy. Yeah. I don't know how, but he does.
It's just the way he presents himself.
Yeah, he's a star. He does it in a way that I think nobody does it.
So those are my...
Even Seth. Seth's my guy. He doesn't come off as champ. It's been more about Dean, and it's been, when we gonna get into Dean, it's been more about Dean and more... Oh, I'm sorry. John. It's been more about John and the Shield than him actually being a champion.
So who's your ultimate pick? Pick one right now. This is early. We'll get into predictions when we get closer.
You know what? I'm not going to switch my guy, but day one, before she even came around, she showed up. So I'll go with Andrade.
Andrade?
I think Drew's going to get it, though. But I'll say...
I'm going Ricochet.
That's really, really bold.
He's in the land of the Giants now. He needs something. He needs a little edge. He needs an upper hand on some of these guys. So I'm going to say he gets that.
Yeah.
So women's Money in the Bank. Again, all these were announced.
I had no idea.
Carmella, Ember Moon, Bayley, Mandy Rose, Naomi, Dana Brooke, Natalya, and Alexa Bliss. Again, some picks in here I wouldn't pick, but I do like Ember being in there.
Me too. That's my pick.
Naomi, obviously, he's going to add a lot to it. Alexa's won in the past. Carmella's won in the past. Well, they've won the past two. There's only been two. I think if you want to...
Who's first?
Who's first?
Yeah.
The first winner? James Ellsworth.
Oh, yeah.
You mean Carmella, sorry.
Yeah. and then Alexa.
And then Alexa won last
He
year.
should find a way to give Alexa every fucking thing.
She won and then cashed in on Nia that night, remember?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Remember that? So some interesting picks. You have a lot of former women's champions in Natalya, Naomi, Alexa, Bayley,
Ember,
and Carmella. And then you have Mandy, Ember, and Dana, who haven't had that success yet.
I want to say I'm proud and happy for Dana.
Yeah. Again, like I was saying before in the previous match, you want to build a star, you give it to Ember Moon.
Yes.
But
my pick, Hill. They always find
my pick for this one's going to be Bayley. They're going a little bit more edgy with her. She has the briefcase. She can kind of continue to go a little bit more edgy, get one up on people, and realize that, you know what, this whole I love everybody love me thing isn't working for me. I got to look out for me, and that's how she wins eventually her next championship. I'm going to pick Bayley, and I don't even like Bayley.
Makes sense though.
I'm really starting to.
I'm gonna pick Ember because
I hope Ember wins, but I think they're going to go Bayley.
Probably
my pick.
Probably. Yeah.
So far we already have 8 matches announced for Money in the Bank. We're going to just run down the rest that have been announced so far. Becky and Lacey. Becky versus Charlotte for those 2 belts. The Miz versus Shane in a steel cage match. Kofi versus Kevin Owens for the WWE Championship. Roman versus Elias. And then AJ versus Seth. Would you like to get into some other wrestling, sir?
Yeah, before we do that, you want to talk about John? You want to talk about him now, or you want to talk about him later?
Let's run through the Crockett Cup.
Okay. Cool.
So then we could spend more time on that.
All right.
All right, let's run through it. So the Crockett Cup, for those of you who don't know, is NWA's tag team tournament they had to crown their new NWA tag team championships. I'm not going to get into everything and run it down, but a couple matches that took place that were really cool. The Rock and Roll Express took on the Briscoes. Rock and Roll Express can still go, bro. They were bleeding. They were taking bumps off the top. Did the slingshot at the top. Eventually the Briscoes beat them, but hell of a match for those guys still being able to show what they can do. The final, later the Briscoes would get eliminated in their next match. Royce Isaacs and Thomas Latimer won the Battle Royal at the beginning of the night to get a spot. They've never tagged before. They ran all the way to the finals. So the finals were Villain Enterprises, PCO and Brody King taking on Royce Isaacs and Thomas Latimer. Really solid match for these guys that I've never heard of, to be quite honest with you, in Isaacs and Latimer. But they definitely proved that from now on they could probably be a tag team, which I think might have been NWA's plan, was to like make a new tag team out of this thing. So for right now, your winners and new NWA World Tag Team Champions, who definitely deserve it with the year they've had. Villain Enterprises, man, winners of the Crockett Cup, NWA Tag Team Championships. What are your thoughts on that?
I know you love that.
Dude, I love them. They've been collecting gold, tag team gold everywhere.
Yeah, they're fire.
Like I'll watch I try to watch every single match that they have now because PCO is just like,
Yeah, he's crazy.
at his age, man.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Shit, like what was it in the Fatal 4-Way at MSG when the Briscoes tossed him just out of the ring onto the floor.
Yeah, I was.
And then he just like sat up. Did the Undertaker sit up? He's 51 years old. This guy's taking more bumps than fucking Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he's crazy.
And better bumps than Brock Lesnar.
Definitely, that was a crazy spot.
Another match. The NWA Women's Championship, which was previously held by Jazz, but she vacated it. So Allison Kay, also known as Sienna, defeated Santana Garrett. Was the new NWA Women's Champion. New NWA National Champion Colt Cabana defeated Willie Mack in another really good match. Like Colt has been back and he's been wrestling now, and he's been putting on some phenomenal matches, like in New Japan and now NWA. If you haven't been watching Colt's matches now that he's been back, you should probably check it out because he's been doing his thing, and now he's the new NWA National Champion. What do you think about that?
Dope. I didn't get a chance to check it out, but yeah, man.
Go back and watch that one for sure, and go back and watch this one in the main event for the NWA Championship. Nick Aldis, unfortunately for me, because I love Marty, defeated Marty Scurll, the two best friends for a long time. They took each other on in this match, which the only word I could think of was phenomenal. The storytelling that they did in this match, because they know each other so well, and they really played to that throughout the whole match. So,
do you think that Marty is ever going to get championship gold before he might end up at AEW? No, you think
I don't. For the only reason is
because they know he's going.
They know he's going, and I think at this point, Ring of Honor learned their lesson from All In.
Yeah, they got fucked, right?
That's just going to give more of a rub.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Although I did listen to Marty on Busted Open, and he talked about like Villain Enterprises was his baby. Like that was his. He came up with that. Like Bullet Club, he said he had the best time of his life, but like he had to push for Villain Enterprises for a long. Like he had to keep annoying Ring of Honor to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So like he said he really likes it. So it's probably gonna be Villain Enterprises going over to AEW. Maybe not all three of them, but
Mm-hmm.
like he's gonna bring that name probably and maybe get some other guys. But I feel like these companies don't want to give that rub to him right now because they know he's leaving, and that might give more of a shine to this new company, and that might take viewership away from them. And it may be stupid, it may be petty, it may be whatever, but I feel like it's a
business.
It's a valid point. Yeah, I think it's a valid point.
Like I was talking to Josh from the group, and he basically was saying, because he does this thing where he like fucking with me like all day long.
I mean, who don't?
You know what I'm saying? He just want to antagonize me all day. So we were having a discussion. I was saying how it's kind of like trash that Vince try to stop a Taker or try to stop an Angle from getting money, but these guys are signing legend contracts. So essentially, they still work for Vince. So it's like it's business. You know what I mean? It's good business. You don't want them associated with anything that could possibly be a rub, like you just said, to AEW, because they're working hand in hand with Starcast. So I understand. So same thing with that. It's just business. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they learned their lesson. I'm sure they know that they've been fucked. You know what I mean? Basically, you know what I mean? You help these guys basically start their own promotion. You know what I mean? So, which all stem from that All In. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, but yeah. So yeah, I understand.
So as we count down towards the end of the show, not really, because we still have a few things to talk about, some pretty big things. These we could just talk about real quick. Brock Lesnar is supposedly done with the UFC, according to Dana White.
Yeah, he retired or whatever.
He retired. Everybody wanted him and Cormier, this big fight, but it looks like it's not going to happen, as Brock is going to take more money to stay with WWE. Bigger payoffs, lighter schedule, man. Bigger payoff, lighter schedule. He's going to make like at least triple what he would make in UFC.
He's not going to take nowhere near as much punishment.
I mean, what it came down to, I heard, was the money that he wanted to make, they weren't willing to give him. So he was like, all right, well, I'll get that money somewhere else, a.k.a. WWE. He'll make that probably in 2 shows, working 12 dates, 15 dates a year. Mm-hmm. For him, it's a smart move. I mean, his longevity of his career is going to keep going because he doesn't really do anything in the ring.
Yeah.
He doesn't take he takes some bumps, like just not a lot, not very often.
Yeah,
and he doesn't do a big moveset, so his longevity is definitely going to be fine. I mean, staying in WWE and taking that money. So
yeah, I mean,
for him, smart decision.
Get your money. I don't fuck with you, but as long as you're not handicapping or taking belts and opportunities away from others, I really don't care.
So I'll do a double story here, so we can talk about them all together. Rey Mysterio apparently taken off a Comic-Con show in the Motor City for WWE, which goes back to another guy who got taken off a show. The Undertaker was taken off of StarCast as well as Kurt Angle.
But you can't do shit about Ric Flair.
Can't do shit about Ric Flair.
Woo!
I think it's because Rick's not wrestling anymore. These other guys, Kurt's not done wrestling, we've said before. They never said retirement match. They said farewell. Kurt's not done. So that's why these guys they're keeping...
Oh, yeah, they get that sweet Saudi money. They get that sweet Saudi money once a year.
Speaking of the Saudi money, so Goldberg and Taker to be at the Saudi Arabia show. Your thoughts? I'm not going to watch the show regardless because there's been more shit happening there and they're still going to fucking go there.
Here's my thing.
So I'm not going to watch it. If anyone wants to do anything that day, we'll do something else. Like me and you can do something else for the cavers who don't want to watch that either.
You just not watching.
The product doesn't interest me, man. I'm not wasting time, and especially going there to Saudi
like
Arabia shit
but
the stuff surrounding all that, and you're just give me the money, give me the blood money. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't want to dive deep into that, but
yeah,
I personally won't watch it. I don't like politics and shit like that, so I just feel like a lot of stuff that's going on over there is just bad to our society as a whole, like the whole world, even surrounding the last show, the guy that supposedly got killed in the embassy, and they still went. And then now Goldberg, a Jewish man, is going to go over there, supposedly. Should he feel comfortable? Probably not. Yeah, but he's getting paid money. Exactly. He's getting paid all that money.
money.
So you know what? That's what's talking to them. And hopefully for his sake, he's going to be safe and be fine. But I'm not watching it.
Just watch WWE for pure entertainment because
you can tell me what happens.
They do a lot of fucked up things.
Yeah, like having. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
You want to get into it? All right. Like, why is the Revival shaving each other's backs? Like, why are we making it weird? Like, you're telling me every wrestler doesn't shave their back?
Yeah.
You tell me you can reach the middle of your back without someone else shaving your back if you're a wrestler?
And why them? I don't know, people. You know what I mean?
Because they want to leave. That's why.
Yeah.
Because they want to leave. I know. It's just so it's stupid. This is why people don't watch your show.
Yeah.
It's stupid, childish shit. And I understand you have kids watching the show, and you have to dumb it down for kids to understand why these two need to fight.
We don't gotta.
But
do all.
The rest of that's a small part of your fan base who, regardless, they're gonna watch it and understand that people don't like each other. You know what I mean? And figure it out. But, a lot of your fan base is smarter than that. You're seeing that as they continually go elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is part of the reason why. It's stupid. This is a dumb angle.
It is. And to answer your question, hey, get your money. If you want to go over there and get blood money, get your money. But the thing is, don't fuck up that, and don't fuck with other shit, real shit that's going on. Leave the title on the people that needs the straps. Promote your big, mega Attitude Era match or whatever.
Somebody's gonna lose the title there. They do. They've done it. Even if it's Buddy Murphy winning in Australia.
Yeah,
whatever.
I just
don't.
What I mean? I just that shit I just don't agree with. I just leave it as a spectacle. But when you start shifting and changing storylines of real shit that's going on for that bullshit show, and that's when it starts getting ridiculous. You know what I mean? At that point.
But you guys can tell me what happens.
I probably won't watch it either. Honestly,
I'll look it up.
I don't care.
I'll just look up the results.
The last time I watched that show, I was disappointed. You know what I mean? So I don't want to see two old men slugging it out. I'm good. I'm good on that.
Yeah, me neither. And I called that shit was going to be the worst shit ever, and it was.
Yeah.
Everyone told me it was the worst shit. I said, yep, I told you. All right. Chris Jericho. That's right. Chris Jericho.
The GOAT.
Has been making his rounds
the GOAT.
The last couple days. He appeared at an indie show. God, I just looked it up and was watching the video. It's like there's a 20-minute video you can actually watch. So I forget who has a match, but there's a match going on for a championship. You could tell I did my research very well for this one. But then Sunny Days, who is a newly signed AEW wrestler, comes out and he starts beating the hell out of the champion with the chair. So it was at Georgia, Canton, Georgia, at Southern Honor Wrestling's Retaliation show. So then Jericho's music hits, and everyone kind of didn't believe it was Jericho until he ran out with a chair and started hitting Sunny Days with it. Eventually, he found himself interrupted by Kenny, who hit the Dragon Suplex and kept hitting him with some more strikes. So that was pretty freaking awesome.
I like their way of promoting. I like their way of going to all these different establishments.
Right?
The way they're doing it is really exciting. Not
the
only
Bucks
just
were doing it like the Bucks and Cody were doing it like every weekend,
Yeah.
and they were putting it on the Being the Elite, and now Jericho and Kenny doing it. Like those are the last two people you would have thought would do it, and they're at a small indie show in Georgia. That's awesome.
If you look at everything Jericho is doing, Jericho is literally modeling everything that he's doing after what the Bucks and Cody are doing with the popping up to the indies to going to Pro Wrestling Tees to Hot Topic to all these particular things, even being in AEW. Just the idea of jumping on a new chapter and promoting yourself in a different way. And I said this in a group, and I'm not the only person that said this. I've seen Bubba. I've heard Bubba refer to it. Obviously Jericho, other people. They basically said that AEW is basically the number two company in the USA. And my thing is, how are they not? Because at the end of the day, okay, they didn't have their show yet, but they sold out in 3 minutes.
And they also took like 5 or 6 of the hottest free agents in independent wrestling from all those other companies to join their companies.
We know for a fact that when you have Ring of Honor, you have New Japan, they don't have access to the resources that they have working with Khan as well as the channel.
Ring of Honor does, but they don't use it. They have Sinclair, who has a lot of money. They don't use it, though.
Right.
'Cause Sinclair doesn't care that much about wrestling.
Right. And it shows because, like I said, these guys, they're going to... The reason why they're going to rival the E is for the simple fact of the matter is they are in a primetime slot with whether it's TBS or TNT rumored to be. They're going to be the only ones that have that access to that particular channel, which would be good business for Ring of Honor and New Japan to still work with them because their talent can get on national television also.
Absolutely.
In primetime, people are not watching. What is that? AXS. What is that? Access. To 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock to watch New Japan.
Well, they do it Friday nights around 8 or 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Not, yeah. They don't run it live anymore.
Yeah.
They never did run it live on there. What they would do now, what they did last year, I think, was they did Wrestle Kingdom the weekend. Like I think because here Wrestle Kingdom happens on a Tuesday or Thursday or something. So they played it on that Saturday or Friday in the entirety, and then every Friday they'll play stuff from like a couple, maybe like a month before. They'll do like a match or two because they only have an hour. So you'll get in New Japan, that's a match. Like a Kota Ibushi Zack Sabre Jr. match, that's a match with commercial breaks. You know what I mean? So you're just basically getting a solid match every week on Access. But that's not.
Yeah, but you're not going to
exactly. That's not keeping people
go
because there's no story. I mean, there's story, but you have to be really invested to keep watching it every week when
shit is gonna
you're
unfold.
months behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and their talent, even the OWE people, just their talent.
And them,
their talent. Like people understand, like their roster, and they've been true to themselves when they're saying that they're not taking all this WWE talent. Like they're not. They know what it is. Like they know for a fact exactly where WCW went wrong, and they know because they're actually fans of the business and wrestlers, and they're not having it. And like I said, they sold out in 3 minutes. I think their other shows sold out, and people say, "Oh well, StubHub said." Listen, I've been there live. It was no seat empty in the fucking arena. So, however you want to cut it, if you can still get tickets last minute or whatever, it's gonna sell out. It's not gonna be any seats. And they said 40,000 people were actually on the line, and they were trying to buy tickets. So the only thing that they needed to do is get a bigger venue because 40,000 people tried and they weren't successful. And then if you take into accountability all the buys and everything like that, as far as the pay-per-views and Fight TV, man, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna get tougher for.
I want to go back to something you said, like people are always talking shit, saying, "Oh, they're just gonna take all WWE people." And every time someone is released from WWE, they think, "Oh, they're going to AEW." They have about 3 people from WWE working for them.
Yeah,
Cody Rhodes, Chris Jericho, Pac. And now Goldust. Do you know how many people? They have about 40 people. They have 4 people from WWE. They're not doing that. They're sticking to they are going out and getting people that you've never heard of, like a Kip Sabian. An MJF, who's phenomenal on the microphone.
Joey Janela.
And I like watching him in MLW with his little faction now, the Dynasty. Yes, Joey Janela, Jungle Boy.
I love Jungle Boy.
And then some other guys that have been in there for years, like been around for years, like SCU, like Jimmy Havoc's been killing it, doing all the deathmatch stuff, but he's also really good in the ring as well. So you have all these guys
you got
that
Pentagon.
are there. Pentagon, Peter Avalon, Sammy Guevara, Sonny Kiss, Trent, and Chucky, the best friends. I mean, and then in the women, you have nobody that worked for WWE except for Brandy. So it's like, shut up with that. I'm tired of hearing that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's really annoying to me when people just go, "Oh, he's gonna go to AEW." I'm like, chances are he's not. How many people have? How many people have that have besides since they started this? Really, since they started the company, how many people have been released from WWE since they've started the company? Have gone? None.
Yeah.
Goldust, that was it. But that doesn't count as his brother.
And
Pac was already gone. Jericho was already gone.
And 9 times out of 10,
gone.
they're gonna get Joey Ryan 9 times out of 10.
I think they will, absolutely. They'll get Joey Ryan. They're going to get Marty.
Yeah.
So it's only going to grow. They don't need these WWE guys. The only one I would want them to sign, one tag team and one singles, I would like for them to sign Luke Harper because he's good. They don't have a lot of big guys. They need a big guy. Mm-hmm. He's perfect.
They actually been on tour for bigger guys. I just seen Cody. Was just talking to Jim Ross about that.
I mean, I think the biggest guy right now would probably be Hangman and Sunny Days. Yeah. Those would probably be their 2 biggest guys. And Goldust.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the Goldust thing. How do you feel about the vignette?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Mm-hmm. Do you think...
it's storytelling at its best. At its very best.
I don't want to wait on
their YouTube.
I don't want to wait anymore. This is a perfect time to...
Well, from today, you got 3 weeks from today. Exactly.
John Mox.
Oh, well, we have 3 weeks from today till Double or Nothing. That's what I was saying.
Uh-huh.
So you want to end
which is located in Vegas.
In Vegas. The home of our next man that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, the home of John.
Do you want to end it on that and just cover Rebellion real quick?
Yeah.
All right, we'll end it on Mox. So last thing before we get to Mox, we'll talk a little Impact Wrestling because they had a pay-per-view, Rebellion.
Which I was surprised that I was tuned in.
I was very surprised that you were watching. But what did you think?
I thought it was good. My issue is not. I don't not watch it because I don't think the product is good. I think the product is very good. I just don't have time to catch
absolutely.
up on everything all the time. But the shit that I've seen was very, very good.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I didn't get a chance to watch the entire thing.
What did you see?
I seen pretty much everything before the tag match between Pentagon and was it
LAX?
LAX?
Brothers and LAX.
Yeah,
that was a really good one. The Full Metal Mayhem match.
After the Brian Cage and Johnny.
Impact.
Yeah, I kind of thought the shit was over because I called it late, and I didn't think that a tag team match was going to be after the championship.
Only in
match.
WWE it doesn't happen, bro.
Yeah.
Impact. LAX is one of the best tag teams on the entire planet, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like hands down.
Mm-hmm.
Them. When Bandito and Flamito were wrestling, I would have put them up there. But the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, the Usos, LAX, Revival, those are up. They're up there for the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it's no question they deserve to be in the main event.
Now
They delivered too.
The Tessa and Gale match was dope. I enjoyed that.
That was probably my second favorite match of the night. Rich Swann and Sammy put on a really good match too.
Yeah, that was good
for the Impact X Division Championship. Rich Swann retained.
Yeah, he looked crazy without a beard. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, he looked wild and he grows beard.
He's been doing awesome outside of WWE, man. For MLW,
I'm glad he didn't.
Impact.
I'm glad he didn't quit because he would be stupid because he's quitting at a golden, probably the best era to be in.
And now he's working in a company with his wife and they're both doing their thing. So that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You can't have anything associated, with your name. But if police are not after these people, if they're not going to jail, I don't see. But I get it. You know what I mean? I get it.
So Taya Valkyrie also defeated Jordan Grace to defend her Impact Knockout Championship.
That's the match I seen. I seen that match up into Johnny. So what came before that?
So before that, you missed my guy, man, in a 6-way match. Ace Austin. Ace Austin is. I've talked about him for weeks. You guys got to check him out.
Okay.
Ace Austin defeated Aiden Prince, Eddie Edwards, Jake Chris, Jake Diener, and Petey Williams in a 6-way match. I think what happened next? Scarlett Bordeaux. She won her match against Rohit Raju. I always get his name wrong.
What is this thing that's going on with her and just facing guys and shit? Like what's going on with that?
Well, she uses her masculinity to manipulate them and think they're better than them, and then she beats them.
Oh, that's nice. No, that's my girl.
Yeah. Her and Tessa are like the two women that are really doing this intergender thing in a bigger company like Impact. Because I know Chikara does a lot of intergender stuff, and it's freaking awesome, the stuff that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But like on a bigger scale that's going on TV every week, I think Impact's are really the ones doing it a lot. Lucha Underground was doing it for a while too. But who knows if they'll ever be back. So right now, Impact has taken that and ran with it, and they've had solid matches. Like we saw Tessa versus Joey Ryan, the last Impact show we went to, me and Pat. But then they had Moose in the North. The North is Ethan Page and Josh Alexander. Love Ethan Page. And they defeated the Rascals, who's Desmond Xavier, Trey McGill, and Zachary Wentz. I think that was it. And Desmond Xavier is pretty freaking good too, if you don't know who he is. So what else? I think that was it that happened for that show. But overall, another solid show from Impact. They were in Philly last night at a taping. I know Pat was in the house, Michael B was in the house, a lot of other cavers were in the house, and they have another one tonight, Saturday the 4th. If anybody listens to this before.
Yeah, you seen who's going to be there? Muda?
No, that's in January or in June.
Is it?
They announced it for the June show.
I thought he said it was announced.
They have another show in June.
I thought I seen Pat just bring it up.
Yeah, great movie.
He was going to be here tonight. I'm not sure, but that'd be dope.
I'm pretty sure.
Let me see, I thought I seen it.
Let me see.
It says holy crap. It says Return to Impact Wrestling is going to be at. Yeah, he's coming to Philly. He's going to be at Philly tonight. No, you're right. You're June. Yeah, June 8th. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because I think they're coming back again in June.
Yeah, they're making their runs back to Philly.
Yeah, it says the show will be at Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to be called A Night You Can't Miss.
Yeah, when he came out at Madison Square Garden, motherfuckers went crazy.
Yeah. I went crazy because I wasn't expecting that shit.
I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I know. And then him and Liger in the ring at the same time at the end. So, yeah, right here. Great Muta has been announced to appear on the upcoming A Night You Can't Miss. A Night You Can't Miss. I like that. Airing exclusively on Impact Plus app. So the show is going to be at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia on June 8th. So that's going to be sweet. I missed last night and I missed the one tonight. I'm going to miss the one tonight. So I'm going to try to go to that. See the Muta live because you saw him live. If I could see him that close at the 2300 Arena, ECW Arena, I'm fucking in. Enough Impact, enough all the other world of wrestling. Let's get down to what I know you've been wanting to talk about this all day. So we're going to end it with this.
John Mox, how did you feel? I'll get your thoughts on it. How did you feel when you seen the vignette?
I liked it. I liked the metaphor of breaking out of prison. You know, basically WWE was a prison for him.
Now, who do you think shot that?
That's the thing. I don't think WWE's clever enough to do a storyline like this. I'm sorry, I don't.
I don't either. I don't either.
I don't. And people are saying it looks so well done.
Did they?
If you watch WWE,
I was gonna say AEW.
I was gonna say, have you watched WWE actual vignettes though? It would have looked better than that. It's still good. Don't get me wrong, it was still good, but
I don't got them putting blood in anything.
He's got a lot of money. He can do shit on his own, man.
Yeah.
He can do shit on his own. He was in movies. He knows people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He worked for WWE for how many years?
He
knows people. He has money. His wife has money. He can make shit on the side. He's got a life. Yeah, I don't think WWE's clever enough to do something like this. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna shoot this vignette, right? You're gonna go in the Indies. You're gonna go see all your buddies, your old buddies, and then you're gonna come back to WWE as John Mox. First of all, John Mox, Dean Ambrose was he was a toned down, watered down John Mox. Basically,
not even close to John Moxley,
but just kind of like. I mean, the lunatic
a
friends,
WWE
like a
John Moxley.
So
kid-friendly John Moxley.
So essentially, that's what. Unless AEW is going to scare them into letting you have more control and doing more shit, I don't see no difference. I don't see any real impact of you coming back as John Mox. That'll just be weird, and then they'll eventually put you with the Shield again.
Because it goes out of WWE's whole thing of building up this guy's name. Why would they change his name for their viewers that know him as? Because they don't think like that.
They don't.
Pritchard is working for them now, and some other guys, but I still don't think Vince would say yes to that.
I don't either,
and I don't think they're clever enough to do it.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel like he's going to AEW eventually. Why? Because I feel like that's the best way to go. You're going to have control. You're going to get paid the same amount of money, if not more. Less schedule. You're still going to be on television. I mean, if you go anywhere else, it's second fiddle. And that's why, second fiddle to AEW. And that's why I feel like they're the number one. They're the number two company in the world. I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about.
We'll see what happens. Because, I mean, there was stuff in the vignette, like the slashes that added up to 25, I think. And then the dice that had the 2-5 for May 25th or whatever. Yeah. So people are reading into some stuff like that. There was Viper for the Viper Room, which I guess is where the after party or something, or is where the show's happening in Vegas. They have the Viper Room in Vegas. So people are reading into a lot. I mean, he's from Vegas, so
yeah.
Who knows, man? I'm okay with it if he doesn't show up, but we'll see what happens.
So what do you think? Yeah, I'm okay with it. As long as he's out WWE, I'm good. You know what I mean? With that character.
Yeah.
So what if you were Dean Ambrose, what would you do?
If I was Dean, if the AEW offered me something, I would probably go there.
Which I'm sure.
But everybody has said he's a quirky dude, so who knows what he wants to do. He could be cool with going to Impact. Maybe he doesn't want to be this huge star anymore. You know what I mean? Maybe he just wants to go wrestle, do his thing somewhere. You know, who knows? People say he's a weird guy and he thinks differently and keeps to himself. So I think the only person that knows is him, Renee, and probably a few other people that really know what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's Jericho's young boy. I got him probably going. Got him going over there. All these different people that you can wrestle over there. You can't tell me he don't want to mix it up with Okada. I mean, or Omega, or anybody else over there. Do a program with Jericho that's actually fucking great. Not that bullshit.
I'm just
they
happy
fighting
to
over
see the
stupid
Mox character back at least.
Yeah, and he
Wherever
waited
he
until
goes,
12.
hopefully not back to WWE.
He waited to like 12:01 to drop that or whatever. So yeah, I was like, oh shit.
But you just brought up two people who I forgot to mention this little bit of news. You brought up Jericho. You brought up Okada. I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
Last night. So Okada successfully.
What are the odds of that?
What?
I said, what are the odds of that?
Yeah. So Okada successfully defended his IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Sonata, and then in a vignette, Jericho said he is the Painmaker, and he is going to challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Dominion on June 9th. What do you think? Fucking amazing.
Like I said before, AEW is going to. Yeah, that and AEW is still going to work with other different companies. People are like, oh no, why would New Japan work with them? Why wouldn't they work with them? That's how I feel about it.
Exactly.
I feel like I called this out. We called this out months and months and months ago. Like I called out that they were starting a promotion before it was AEW. People thought I was crazy then. People thought I was crazy when I said
they're trying to open the doors for everybody to work together, and that's
they're changing
awesome.
In the hindsight, they're changing the narrative. They're changing this. I'm gonna take over your territory, Vince McMahon style. He started that shit, implemented that shit, and I don't think they want to do that. They want to keep the doors open. They want to people still make their money on the side. People still do their own cross promotion.
Impact's doing a great job with that stuff right now. Cross promotion and working with like Wrestle Pro and some other places.
and even Ring of Honor and New Japan with what they showcase. Well, even Wrestle Cave and Markout Club. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like right here, right now, people can rewrite their own history. I feel like we lean on the past too much, and I feel like we need to live in the present and the future. And I think that I'm glad that these wrestlers or these entrepreneurs, I can't even just call them wrestlers, can see that, and they're pushing the culture in another direction, and I think it's going to get crazy. You know what I mean?
Much like we do.
Yeah, I think it's I think they're much more of a threat than people will actually allude them to be, just because Vince is getting $200 million. Nobody's saying WWE is going to go out of business. I don't not think for 1 second WWE is going out of business. I do feel as though that eventually, if this continues, like if this show is successful, if they actually can put out good product as far as television is concerned, which no doubt in my mind they can. You got another person that you didn't name that they have fucking JR over there. They got Jim Ross over there.
They have a good crew. It's Excalibur, Jim Ross, and Alex Marvez, I think. So
you got
Alicia from Impact is working with them. Who else do they have?
Ring of Honor people that's been there for years that understand programming and television.
They got Justin Roberts too.
Yeah, Justin Roberts. They have Cody,
Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. There's another person with a name. They got obviously the Bucks, obviously Kenny, and they all see things from 4 different standpoints, which is always going to be, better than one. They can see shit that the other person can pick up where the other person lacks, or see shit from a different standpoint than the other person. I think when they say, 4 people, 4 EPs are, that's ridiculous. No, I think that's probably a good thing.
And I listened to another interview with Tony Khan, and he said at the end of the day he has final say. So yeah, even if those guys can all agree on something, and if it's something that Tony thinks is not in the best interest, he can say no. But I don't think he's going to be like a Vince McMahon. I think he's going to trust these people that have been in wrestling for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll see.
It's all respect because they've all been fans and they've all been involved in it. Even you hear him, he's a historian. So, you know what I mean? But that's Wrestle Cave, man.
That's our show for the week. Sixers are up 2-1. Taking on Toronto. Toronto's going down, and Bede finally showed up, baby. Go Sixers. Follow us, Wrestle Cave, on Facebook, Wrestle Cave Podcast, Twitter, Wrestle_Cave, Instagram, Wrestle Cave, YouTube, Wrestle Cave Podcast. Do all the shit. Get beat by Ace in 2K.
I am
all that
reigning,
shit.
defending Wrestle Cave, Marco Club.
He's holding the belt
2K,
up. He's holding the belt up.
Champion of
Come
the
get
world.
these hands. Go Sixers. We out.